But always, we begin with the Agri Stories of Africa. Just a quick look at some progressive stories, just what's been happening when it comes to food programs, food security, agriculture, and the like. So that is Stories of Africa, a very brief one for today. We're going to also be looking at, just before the close of this hour, Egypt's smart water strategy, and how the strategy is being shared and implemented, as it were, here in South Africa. So very excited to be speaking to an expert about this interesting model and showcase, if you will, and what it all means for us who are really facing mounting food, or rather water insecurity, as we move forward, because the challenges are many. And if there's strategies that are being implemented in other parts of the continent, it would be wonderful to spread those. So we're going to be talking about the Egypt Smart Water Strategy before the close of this hour. Also, acknowledgements for the just concluded World Hunger Day. What is that all about? What is World Hunger Day all about? And I think most importantly, just some of the vital programs that are being run in the name of food security, in the name of empowerment, in the name of really empowering people in a meaningful way. It's one thing to give food parcels, but a completely other facet when you are empowering people and teaching them how to grow their own food. I'm so excited to catch up with our good friends at Food and Trees for Africa. Haven't spoken to them and touched base with them in quite a while, and it's going to be wonderful for us to speak to them this afternoon and find out from Head of Programs, Robin Hills, who's going to be joining me, and we're going to talk to her about just some of the programs that they're running, of course, in acknowledgement of World Hunger Month, as we observed it, and also World Hunger Day that was just concluded as declared by big international organizations. So we're going to speak to them. We're going to talk about EduPlant programs and so many other wonderful things. It's 11 minutes past 12 midday. Happy Sunday and welcome to the show.
We are telling aspirational and empowering stories this Africa Month on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Inhliziyo yakhe yathuthi yaphelezela uthande nginalo.
Anywhere else, the upside 1 till 4, live and real with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochi Tika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10, we take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochi Tika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10, we take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine, 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda, as they bring you breaking news.
At the South African Broadcasting Corporation, you're listening to Channel Africa, an international service, of course, focusing in on things from an African perspective. This time around, of course, on a Sunday, we look at agriculture. So welcome to sunny South Africa, and we are grateful that you're tuning in. We are also streaming live. We're streaming the program live on Facebook as well as YouTube, I believe. So you're welcome to catch agricultural programming there, should you so wish. Let's get into our agri stories of Africa, as we always do at this time of the day, looking at just some progressive stories that are happening on the African continent with regards to agriculture and its supporting fraternities. Let's start in South Sudan, in Pieri, which is a remote town in Uror County. And we, of course, find this in South Sudan, where they are facing extreme food insecurity due to ongoing conflict, seasonal flooding, and displacement. The situation in this particular county, as mentioned, has reached emergency level food insecurity. I believe it is described as IPC Phase 4, with some areas experiencing catastrophic hunger. So we're looking here at IPC Phase 5. Thousands of families are at risk of famine and require urgent assistance in order to survive. The World Food Programme always coming to the rescue, of course, and this time around they're prioritizing bringing families back from the brink of starvation with imperishable, or rather with some non-perishable foods that they are distributing to several parts. The World Food Programme has been forced to conduct airdrops to deliver much needed humanitarian aid to those in dire need. These food airdrops are essential in the fight against hunger and malnutrition, providing food for over 2 million people in the South Sudan area, especially those that are suffering from severe malnutrition and food insecurity. The World Food Programme also has given efforts and focuses on providing vital food assistance and nutritional support, including life-saving treatments for malnourished children as well as their mothers. In the region heavily impacted by conflict and environmental challenges, the WFP is also conducting airdrop operations in those areas as well. Let's find out more.
62 to Collagen 1. You clear to drop. Papa India Romeo.
My name is Blessing Zambo. I'm a logistics officer currently based in Bo, supporting WFP Logistics with dry season pre-positioning. A very unique operation in the sense that we only have a very tight window to pre-position the food by road. In total, we are looking at moving around 1,875 trucks to meet the total requirements for both Northern Jonglei and People areas. This food that we are sending is food that is going to be consumed across the entire year from January to December. It also involves our general food distribution activities, nutrition activities, and direct distribution. The departure times are normally 6 a.m., but the trucks start lining up at around 4:30 a.m. in the morning. So for tomorrow, we are looking at around 45 commercial trucks, plus 5 WFP fleet trucks, which will be used as rescue trucks. We are looking at covering a distance of about 215 kilometers, that is from Bo all the way to People, and this should take close to a full day.
This is one of the most isolated parts of South Sudan with only one road that leads here. And each rainy season that road goes underwater, leaving it even more isolated and vulnerable. But what we're seeing here today is the result of what happens if we're unable to pre-position. And the only way that we've been able to get food assistance here is by airdropping it in.
My name is Sean Bruss. I am the tasking officer for WFP Logistics through UNHAS, and I specialize mostly in airdrops. What we do is we have to identify an area that is close to a distribution center, and generally we will have the targeting teams identify the locations, then our technical teams will come out, measure out the drop zones. Requirements for the drop zone for the type of aircraft that we use have to be 800 by 200 with a security area of 200 meters around the drop zone.
We are just telling them to clear the drop zone so that we don't have people or animals in the drop zone, because we are expecting the flight in another 10 minutes. 0801, copy that. Thank you very much. We are ready.
Before every airdrop I do get nervous, and it's simply because there's a lot that can go wrong. During the actual job there could be heavy winds which could shift the bags outside of the drop zone. So there's a lot of unknowns that can come up during a drop. So they left at 9 o'clock, so maybe 10 o'clock.
6-2, that was a beautiful one. Same spot, call again 5.
We are now here at the issuance point. We have beneficiaries now trying to get their food. This lady is being targeted under this particular food assistance program. She's a returnee who just came recently from Khartoum. So she's getting the food on behalf of other household members. There are 4 households that will benefit from this food. That is 10 bags and 1 of pulses. So once she gets the food out to the sharing area, she will then call the other 3 households, then they will be able to share the food among themselves.
I love the job because I've realized that I'm also part of a tool which is bringing help to people. So I know I'm part of the belt which brings support, brings relief to people who are not able to support themselves. 6-2, Roger. That was another beautiful one. Call again, inspection complete. Papa India Romeo.
That full insert courtesy of the World Food Programme, and I encourage you to visit their various spaces on YouTube and other places on the internet where you can find out more information about just some of the critical work that they're doing around the world. Humanitarian aid being offered, as we heard there in that clip, to Pieri, which is a remote town that we can find in one of the counties in South Sudan. Very, very important, and I think it's just such a fine example of how we can successfully provide humanitarian aid in countries that are just ravaged by war and famine. You know, South Sudan being one of them, and I think they are running an exemplary system when it comes to how they are airdropping food supplies in the various areas where it's needed most. Very, very important story. So whether we are in the world, or wherever we are in the world rather, or whatever hardships and challenges that we are facing, let me tell you something. Drinking a cup of tea will take away all of the worries. And we know how popular drinking tea is as a culture here on the African continent. So with that, I think the month of May really just provided us with so many interesting days that we can look at. And of course, Tea Day was one of them that was observed on the 21st of May, recognized around the world as International Tea Day. All right, or tea month, if you will. If you really want to take the entire month, you're most welcome to do so in the month of May. So with that, we, of course, continue celebrating and recognizing, I think most importantly, the long history and cultural and economic significance of tea drinking around the world, and of course, including the African continent. So with that, we look at just the role that growing and harvesting of tea plays in rural development, in poverty reduction, and in matters of food security in developing countries here in the African region and across the world. The United Nations General Assembly proclaimed the 21st of May as International Tea Day, as I'd mentioned, calling for its observance. So with that, let's drink tea and just find out more about tea production and processing at this time, and also how it is a main source of livelihoods for millions of families around the world.
Wherever we are in the world, whatever the hardships or challenges we face, the simple act of drinking a cup of tea provides a welcome pause, a moment of reflection. Farmed for millennia in lush fields across the world, tea is a story of craftsmanship and dedication, a universally loved drink that is more than a simple beverage. Tea is a living system, a sprawling economic and cultural network that empowers rural communities and promotes well-being. Yet, how often do we reflect on the lives behind the leaf? How often do we make the connection between the perfectly packaged tea on our supermarket shelves and the nurturing hands behind the rich heritage? At the heart of this year's International Tea Day are the people, the pickers, the farmers, and the countless men and women at the core of the tea value chain. Now more than ever, we must explore the connection between consumption and origin, spotlighting the vital role that tea workers play not only in producing tea, but in preserving the landscapes where it is grown. Thanks to their dedication, some tea-producing communities are now designated globally important agricultural heritage systems. Plantations celebrated for their capacity to preserve biodiversity, culture, and food security. These special tea-producing communities draw on unique cultivation techniques and traditional knowledge, ensuring lasting harmony between production and sustainability. As we reflect on tea's immense power to transform lives, we glimpse a future in which farming with care can truly underpin the tea industry. The focus is on empowering tea workers to reap the rewards of their hard work by leveling inequality, advocating for labor rights, and improving farming incomes, so that the ripples of tea's economic and social power extend far beyond the cup. For better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life, leaving no one behind.
All right, I'm sure you figured out there is a big theme of food security, of curbing hunger on the program this afternoon. That's how we wrap up our Agri Stories of Africa, looking at just what's been happening. We looked at South Sudan and, of course, the not only just the tradition of drinking tea, but also how it is most importantly seen as a means for economic development, in curbing poverty, in providing a safe space space, as it were, for food security to thrive on the African continent and in many other developing countries around the world. So that's us for now. We're going to be catching up with an expert looking at how Egypt's smart water strategy offers a model for South Africa. That's coming up.
Es-tu préoccupé par quelque chose? Es-tu passionné par les questions qui comptent? As-tu une voix qui mérite d'être entendue? Eh bien, nous avons la plateforme parfaite pour toi. Téléphone-nous ou fais-nous un WhatsApp au +27 66 408 87 42 et nous te rappellerons. Sois dans la conversation.
Salut Channel Africa, ici Beno le diamant rouge et Bina l'export depuis le Cameroun, le pays des lions. Voilà.
Sois dans la conversation. Il ne s'agit pas seulement de parler, mais c'est ta chance d'exprimer ton point de vue, de partager tes opinions et de t'engager avec une communauté qui valorise ton avis. Suivez-nous sur les réseaux sociaux, visitez notre site www.channelafrica.co.za et préparez-vous à partager vos points de vue sur Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Welcome to Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito on Channel Africa.
Gatola manza weko Gite figi soleka Katolika tile lesiko Sis baba sis Sapela indlala Baba sis, sapela isomiso. Kitelu sis, baba sis, sapela indlala. Oh sis, baba sis, sapela isomiso. Oh, Gite figi solekaya Katola manza weko No Gite figi solekaya Katolika tile sigo Oh mama Gite figi solekaya Katola manzawe No Luto Gite Fizole haya Katolika tile sigo Sis baba sis Sapela indlala Sapela isomis No Gite figis olekaya Katola manza weko No Luto no Gite figis olekaya Katolika tile sigo Siza baba Luto Siza baba Siza
From dusk till dawn. Channel Africa Radio is your soundtrack to life.
Que se llama sonsonéate, son. Sonsonéate para bailar el son, yo mirando, sonsonéate para bailar el son. Sonsonéate para bailar el son. A bailar el son. Sonsonéate para bailar el son. Sonsonéate para bailar la guajira. Sonsonéate, mira que bailando y gozando. Las muchachas y bailando y gozando. ¡Hey! Un ritmo que se llama sonsonéate. Son. Para bailar el son, sonsonéate para bailar el son, mi china linda, sonsonéate para bailar el son, 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 sonsonéate mirando más. Para bailar el son, la guajira, sonsonéate, mira que bailando y gozando, las muchachas y bailando y gozando, ¡hey! Un ritmo que se llama sonsonéate, son. Sonsonéate para bailar el son, son cubano más. Sonsonéate para bailar el son, son cubano. Yeah. Oh, Cuba hermosa, timorosa de tu sufre soledad. Ante el blanco, oh, patria mía, ¿quién diría que tú sufres soledad? Ante el blanco, para bailar el son, para bailar el son, para bailar el son, son, para bailar el son. Para bailar el son, son, para bailar la guajira, sonsonéate, mira que bailando y gozando, las muchachas y bailando y gozando, ¡hey! Un ritmo que se llama sonsonéate.
We are reviving the culture in agriculture with Planting the Seed every Sunday on Channel Africa.
Dibi dibi rek, ah dibi dibi rek, ah dibi dibi rek, dibi dibi rek, ah dibi dibi rek, ah dibi dibi rek.
Analysis and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones. On air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10, we take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones. On air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin.
Music from around the continent, visiting Senegal with Ishmael Lo's Dibi Dibi Rek. Of course, before that one, you heard Angolan legend Bonga come through with Son Sionate. Thank you very much for tuning in across the African region on satellite, channel PAS 10. In Southern Africa, you can catch the DSTV audio bouquet. That's where we are on channel 802, I beg your pardon. And of course, the traditional World Wide Web, channelafrica.co.za. So very important as we look at matters of water security or insecurity and how we're going to move through that hurdle. I think it's very interesting to see how various regions on the continent and even around the world are kind of borrowing strategies from one another, which is a progressive way to really look at solutions when it comes to water in particular. So today we're going to be looking at how Egypt's smart water strategy can or will be offering a model for South Africa. This is fascinating because South Africa, much like Egypt, is facing mounting water insecurity challenges from coastal erosion and flooding to droughts and aging infrastructure. Egypt's use of Digital Earth Africa, which is a platform accessible to all African nations, showcases a practical and scalable solution to these shared threats. So, I'm sure you're all ears now, because we all want water. We all want to be water secure. So with that said, it is a pleasure to have Lisa Rebello on the line with me. And she is, of course, joining me in her capacity as an expert, and of course looking at her role at this particular organization, as mentioned, Digital Earth Africa, and she is lead scientist at Digital Earth Africa. Lisa Rebello, thank you so much for making time for us on Channel Africa. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Very interesting to see that Egypt has found a smart water strategy. I think before we talk about how that filters, no pun intended, how that filters into solutions for South Africa, let's talk about this particular model and what it looks like at this time.
Yeah, sure. So as you mentioned, Egypt has recently released what they refer to as Irrigation System 2.0, which is part of their 2050 water resources strategy. And really what that part of the strategy that is relevant to the discussion that we're having today is how they're using advanced technology to really move forward water resources in the current context that we're in, with, as you mentioned earlier, increasing water security, changing water availability, and how we address those challenges through really advanced technologies.
Okay. So let's look at timelines. You know, when did Egypt start experiencing water challenges? What did those challenges look like that informed processes of this water strategy as we see it today?
So I have to confess to not being an expert on water challenges in Egypt, more around the technologies that they're implementing now in the context of that smart water strategy. So I think all of the countries across Africa, from north to south, east to west, have been battling with water management strategies, you know, for as long as it's been documented. And that comes down to changing variability. Increasingly, we'll have too much water sometimes of the year, too little in others. And I think this is a uniform challenge that we see in many countries across the continent.
A uniform challenge indeed. Perhaps then let's shift to angles then, Lisa, and talk about what some of the biggest challenges are that that we're all facing at this time. And with that observation and with the data that you have access to at this time, let's talk about how Digital Earth Africa is looking to address them at this time.
Yeah, sure. So part of that, the strategy that we mentioned that Egypt is beginning to implement, and which is really relevant to many countries across the continent, is looking at these advanced technologies, in particular to look at coastline erosion and change, looking at the performance of irrigation investments, as well as shoreline protection structures, looking at irrigation more broadly in the context of agriculture, water use in agriculture, as one key aspect to addressing the challenges that are being faced. And so how this is being done at the moment is these are areas where we've typically had a real lack of information, so lack of data on which to base large-scale decision-making, particularly, I guess, at the national to regional scale. Water is a shared resource. It moves and it flows, and it makes it very challenging to manage over large areas. And so that's where satellite data comes in. You know, we have these archives of 40 years of satellite data for the continent, for all countries in Africa. But previously it hasn't really been fully exploited or fully used to help us address these types of problems.
Right. If you've just tuned in, thank you very much for staying with us. You are listening to Channel Africa and planting the seed with you until 1400 in Central African time. Speaking to Lisa Rebello, who is lead scientist at Africa. We're looking at a very interesting Egyptian smart water strategy and how it offers sort of expertise and support as a model for South Africa's water challenges as well. Lisa, let's talk about Open Data Cube. Okay, so what is that? What is Open Data Cube? Please tell us how it works and how it is going to be a game changer when we look at the space of data and ecosystems, as it were.
Yeah, sure. So the Open Data Cube is essentially a free open source software solution for managing and analyzing very large quantities of Earth observation data, including satellite imagery. And as I mentioned, we have these large archives going back 40 years for the continent, which haven't fully been exploited, partly because of the challenge of accessing and processing those data. And the Open Data Cube really facilitates access to these. And so through Digital Earth Africa, we're built on the Open Data Cube and Open Data Cube technology. And that's what really enables us to move forward in this technology space.
Right. I think just in a follow-up to that, I'm interested then in how you'll elaborate the Digital Earth Africa services and how they are being used. You know, I think in terms of the pragmatic space, how is the application being used across the African region?
Yeah, sure. So we have a number of different, I guess what we refer to as decision-ready services. So building on those satellite archives that I've alluded to, the 40 years of data, looking at Africa's water, land, and other resources. What we do at Digital Earth Africa is built on the Open Data Cube. It's built on what we call analysis-ready data streams, which enables us and our users to get to the decision-making bit a lot faster. And so we provide a range of information-ready database services. We have one that looks at coastlines. So going back to the examples we discussed briefly earlier, we've seen coastline change across the continent due to increased erosion, changing sea levels, more extreme events, and inland flooding being a result of that, particularly for coastal communities, and affecting water security and water access. And so one of the services that we provide looks at the past 25 years of coastline change. It's available for the whole continent and demonstrates the hotspots that we change and enables countries such as Egypt. It's also being used in Senegal for similar applications. To enable government agencies to look at the impact of infrastructure and investment. So what's working, what's not? Is there a further impact on communities downstream of where the infrastructure has been put in place? And generally looking at patterns of change.
Right. Lisa, I'm just thinking, from a scientific perspective, so we have similar challenges. We're looking here at the Egyptian model. You mentioned other regions in West Africa like Senegal who are, benefiting from the strategies as implemented by Digital Earth Africa. And of course, how it all now filters down to the southern tip of the continent in South Africa. Science-based information. Can you share with us how this model is being implemented here when we look at, I think, particularly agricultural communities, rural communities here in South Africa? How is it all going to work successfully?
Yes, sure. So we have, for example, looked at how what our coastlines data demonstrates for South Africa, and through the South African Environmental Observation Network, for example. They have taken that coastline service and looked at the impact of extreme weather events on the South African coast to get a better understanding of the impacts of those extreme events on coastal erosion and coastal change. But we also provide information on water bodies, on water availability, which is being used to look at flood risk, as well as monitor dam volume, for example, across the region. So there are various ways that the data can be taken and implemented to support in various resource management, whether that's coastline change, whether that's water availability and security, or agriculture itself.
Okay. I think most importantly, just on my note with regards to the support for agricultural spaces and community, let's talk about how these strategies, upon implementation, are going to also assist the space of climate resilience and adaptation.
Yeah, sure. So a big part of building resilience, particularly for smallholder communities, is understanding better agricultural production and the risks. So, for example, through Digital Earth Africa, supporting our users with the tools to monitor droughts, to track how droughts are unfolding, and from that be able to put in place adaptation strategies both immediately as well as further into the future. So this is a really important set of data for the agricultural sector. So that supports with the enhanced crop monitoring and forward planning, as well as understanding of risks. Through the platform, we can help farmers adapt by essentially providing insights into those weather patterns, which comes back down to improving the productivity for smallholder farmers. And I guess broader decision making and supporting more sustainable resource management.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Lisa, you obviously a scientist. You work with facts, you work with data and what's been seen when it comes to research. But I really have to get just your thoughts in terms of just looking at this smart water strategy, how it filters into the space of South African water management, environmental management. I mean, what do you see in the next 20 years should this be implemented correctly? Do you see it as a success? Do you think that research is telling us that we need additional support? What do you see in front of you at the moment for the future?
Yeah, so essentially what this technology is enabling us to do is really leapfrog across technologies in the continent. So moving from a situation where Earth observation data is not fully exploited or hasn't typically been fully exploited due to a range of reasons around accessibility as well as capacity, to a situation where we have Africa leading the way in the implementation of these advanced technologies through, for example, we mentioned the Open Data Cube, which Digital Earth Africa is built on. Digital Earth Africa is now the largest global implementation of that. So it really is an example of Africa leading the way in implementing these advanced technologies. And so what that means for the management of our resources going forward is that we're in a great position to use and leverage these data. But of course, alongside that, we need to ensure that we're building capacity in a wide range of sectors to really be able to fully exploit that data. And by doing that, it essentially is it's removing the barrier to access and I guess leveling the playing field where data was previously in the domain of those with certain expertise. Now things are changing, and it's putting the data and the information of the hands of anyone who is interested in accessing it.
Perhaps as we wrap up, Lisa, I'm interested in just elaborating a little bit on those barriers to access, because I think that's very, very important if we are to see success in the next 2 decades or so. Talk to us about the removal of those barriers to access. What does that look like? And, how can that be encouraged further?
Yeah. So the removal of the barriers is essentially around these types of technology, and one of it is moving everything to be cloud-based. So previously, anyone who wished to derive information from satellite images was really dependent on hardware and needed to invest in hardware, computers to access, process, visualize these data sets. But combined with the use of the Open Data Cube, Digital Earth Africa is also fully cloud-based. So it's really the advancement of a combination of the data cube as well as cloud-based infrastructure that is enabling us to move that forward. And for the African continent, that's supported in our case through Amazon Web Services. So all of the data are hosted in Cape Town, which again is removing one of those barriers to entry, because what that means is by having the data actually hosted on the continent rather than through the data providers themselves in the US or Europe, for example. It means it's much more accessible to users on the continent. So that's one aspect of accessibility. I guess it's removing the technical barriers. But the other, as I mentioned earlier, is capacity. So capacity building is a really core it's core business for us, because in order to support people to fully exploit the data, this really is, as I mentioned, it's advanced technologies, and it's critical to build capacity alongside that. So we do actually have a free open training platform with modules in English and French, making them as accessible as we can across the continent to anyone who's interested in learning about the technology and how it can be used.
Okay, where can we access information for that? Is there a website we can go to have a look at the information?
There is indeed, digitalearthafrica.org.
Okay, it's that simple. Okay, Lisa, thank you so much. You had me at Africa is leading the way for advanced technologies. That gives me so much hope. And thank you very much for opening space for this conversation. Very, very important. Water as a resource, really serving in various facets of life. So a very important one indeed. Thank you for the time. Hopefully we'll have a part 2 when we talk about just more in depth in terms of implementation. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa Rebello, lead scientist at Digital Earth Africa, digitalearthafrica.org, if you're looking to find out more information about the advanced technologies that they're implementing at this time, particularly looking at smart water strategies. The Egyptian one is one we were discussing today, but just various aspects in terms of the science or water science based information that Lisa was sharing in terms of how these processes can be implemented successfully in the Southern African region. And of course, you made examples of other regions that are benefiting from these systems. It's just gone 1 o'clock on the dot in Central African time. We catch up with our good friends at Food and Trees for Africa after this musical break.
Mix Vibration sur Channel Africa.
Révérend Dr Alain.
Je suis content, très heureux d'être de la partie ce soir et bonjour à tous nos auditeurs.
Je rappelle que pour les intimes, il vous appelle bien sûr BMB. Aujourd'hui, nous parlons courage sur Mix Vibration. Comment définissez-vous le terme courageux?
Ça vient du latin cor, qui veut tout simplement exprimer la bravoure, la force de l'âme ou encore la virilité, le héroïsme que quelqu'un peut avoir en face de difficultés, en face de problèmes, en face de défis.
Mix Vibration, tous les dimanches de 18h à 19h, temps universel.
Get the news, music, and lifestyle of Africa on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Ndoto ndoto kati ya buto na kotilola ngisi nanga nyoso pesili nazali kopepa likolo ya punda minzoto pembeni nanga ekoseka tongo etani ngai na kati ya bwale sokande nyoso wana ezalaki se ndoto eza ndoto kana lelie yo me wamo eza ndoto kana lelie yo me wamo Nakotizamba elaka ndoto ezande bozoba okomitungisa manyo sose pamba boba kasi na yona mulimo
Digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4. Live and real with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6. We put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones. On air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine, 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda, as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones. On air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine, 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda, as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10, we take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones. On air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine, 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda, as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochi Tika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World.
Maria Zane as well coming through with some beautiful music as well. And this is a composition by Burka Zinki and Subi as well coming through. Such beautiful music and appropriate for our program here. Hashtag planting the seed. If you are looking to engage with us on our suggestion box, that's on Twitter at Channel Africa 1 with the hashtag planting the seed or planting the seed ZA, so that we are able to track the conversation with you. 9 minutes into 1 p.m. in Central African time. So it looks like we're not able to get a hold of Robin Hills from Food and Trees for Africa. Really wanted to have a post World Hunger Day conversation. And I say post World Hunger Day, really still mindful of the sensitivity of hunger, that it's not just a day. World hunger, and especially issues of hunger here on the African continent, are not just dedicated for the 28th of May. It is an ongoing problem. It is an ongoing solution that we need to look at. And Food and Trees for Africa has been doing their bit really to do amazing work when we look at just some of the programs that they've been holding for over 2 decades. Okay, whether it's the Edu program in the school spaces, or whether it is just really empowering communities in terms of how to grow their own food. So with the just concluded World Food Day, and with acknowledgement still continuing, we thought it would be wonderful for us to catch up with our good friends at Food and Trees to really look at just some of their implementations when we look at the over 250 food security gardens and food security projects that they are running across Southern Africa. Okay, it's a big deal, very big projects that they are running, but we're going to continue to try and get hold of Robin. But in the meantime, I thought we'd look at our food fact that, of course, involves the work of Food and Trees for Africa. Sutani Food Garden. Sutani meaning to be full, or to be satiated, as it were. So Sutani Food Garden is a special community project started and maintained by a group of pensioners in the Alexandra township of the Gauteng province here in South Africa, just outside of Johannesburg as a city. So the ShopRite group here in South Africa joined forces with the pensioners, and they're implementing this work with their partnership with Food and Trees for Africa to bolster the work that is being done in this community garden. And they are proud to really be doing this, to take hunger by the horns and really fight it where it matters most. So they're using the hashtag Act for Change on social media if you'd like to track it. And this is really all to ensure a sustainable food future.
This week's food fact on planting the seed.
Sutani Food Gardens is a special community project started and maintained by a group of pensioners in Alexandra.
The name of the garden is Sutani. It means it must be filled up. What we do, we grow the food for the community.
We at ShopRite joined forces with the pensioners and our implementation partner Food and Trees for Africa to bolster the work being done at this community garden. When the need for a new water storage unit was identified, we were able to supply a water tank.
They've saved on water, they've saved on money. We have actually seen consistent improvement in terms of production and in terms of the quality of the products themselves. And that's a beautiful thing.
this garden is very important to us here, to this community, because the parents, they buy here, the teachers buy here. Literally, almost everybody, they live off this garden.
Thank you, Mr. Eras. I'm coming here in Sultani Gardens to buy some veggies. I like these veggies, it's very nice.
Sultani also provides valuable education about sustainable food farming to the children of Alexandra.
This kind of project is one which can help the communities become sustainable. They can get the income after selling the produce to the local market and also to ShopRite.
Our long-term goal is to help the food gardens so that they can supply ShopRite with fresh produce for our customers in order for them to earn an income for the community.
ShopRite isenze abantu. I'm happy ngalokho. Ngiyakujabulela. Kwangathi ingaqhubeka ilokhu isisiza kanjalo. Kuhamsho kuzaba kuhle, kuzaba nomehluko omkhulu la ngadini.
So I water the roots to enjoy the fruits.
We are proud to take hands with our communities in the fight against hunger, and we will continue to act for change to ensure a sustainable food future.
You are listening to Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito on Channel Africa.
Show me the way I can go. Take me by the end. Show me the way.
Mosika, yangwa
Darubini ya Afrika na I am Henry Shakif.
Hawa wa Afrika Kusini wenye asili ya kizungu ambao wamepewa ukimbizi huko nchini Marekani. Je, nini chanzo wa kuomba ukimbizi nchini Marekani?
Wenyewe hawajaomba ukimbizi. Kuna shirika fulani inaitwa AfriForum, shirika mbili za wazungu ambao wanatetea haki ya wazungu hapa, AfriForum na Solidarity. Hao walienda Marekani kufanya kampeni kusema kwamba wazungu wananyanyaswa hapa Afrika Kusini, na walivyofanya hiyo kampeni, serikali iweze kuwafuatilia kujua nini ambacho mnasema kwamba mnanyanyaswa.
Kuna namna ya wao kwamba wamepoteza uraia wa Afrika Kusini, na je, endapo Trump akamaliza muda wake madarakani, uhalali wao wa kuishi nchini Marekani ukoje?
Itakuwa vigumu, kifupi itakuwa vigumu wenyewe kupoteza uraia wao.
Darubini ya Afrika 11 kamili hadi 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
We are planting the seed every Sunday afternoon from 12 Central African Time on Channel Africa. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubini Africa with I am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochi Tika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones. On air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else.
Africa, 25 minutes past 1 p.m. in Central African time. Always a pleasure to bring you agricultural news and views from here in, broadcasting from Johannesburg, but really looking at the continent of Africa in its entirety. I want us to focus in on matters of food security on a level that really matters most. Okay, and as mentioned previously, we really should look at hunger as an ongoing problem that we've got to solve. It's not just a once-off on the 28th of May, World Hunger Day, once a year, and that's it. We deal with matters of hunger, issues of hunger, and how they are affecting children. How they're affecting mothers, nursing mothers, hardworking men and women all over the African region and, of course, in other developing parts of the world. So it's a very serious issue and conversations need to be ongoing. It's just such a pity we're not able to get hold of Robin Hills at Food and Trees for Africa, as we had scheduled a conversation with her to look at themes around world hunger and also look at some of the big projects that are being run under Food and Trees for Africa here in Southern Africa. Some of them, of course, being the implementation and the management of work in over 250 food security garden projects across Southern Africa. So they're doing really big work. Okay, and they're good friends of the show, but I think for some reason we're just not able to connect with them, but we'll catch up with them another time. Another organization, good friends of the show, or soon to be, is SA Harvest, and I really want to get them to hop on a call with us next week. Perhaps we can just look at some of the programs that are being worked on by SA Harvest. SA Harvest is committed to helping vulnerable people here in the South African region in terms of being able to deliver nutritious and delicious food to organizations across South Africa to feed those that are in need. So when we look at food waste in its entirety, they really are doing such amazing work in terms of being able to curb that. So just a little insert speaking to Lisa from SA Harvest, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the work of SA Harvest. But I promise you, in the next couple of days, I'm going to make sure that we get somebody on the show, and we're going to elaborate more on the wonderful projects of SA Harvest.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Hopkins. I run KZN operations for SA Harvest. We're a national food rescue organisation, so our mission is to reduce or eliminate food waste that would otherwise go to landfill, and this is fit for human consumption food. We've got about 10 million tonnes that go to landfill, and they can go to communities in need. We've got a refrigerated fleet that's out on the road, so we can collect food waste that is sitting at farm level, retail level, manufacturing level, and we get it into our trucks, and then we disperse it and redistribute it out into the communities. We're underpinned by a fantastic platform, so everything is tracked in and out, down to the last gram. We provide a Section 18A, which is used for tax relief for big companies, so they can to get their corporate social responsibility points in. And then on the ground, at the community level, we're just dealing with the immediate food crisis, but we need to move from food insecurity to food security. So we are building platforms and networks with agricultural training and development, which then involves a lot of other skills and training, both for men and for ladies. So we hope to help the environment and the planet and the communities by not dumping food and packaging in plastic in landfills for much longer. If you would like to get involved, please visit SA Harvest, saharvest.org, and find out how you can get involved, whether it's a logistics company or you're a manufacturing company, you have food waste, or you have logistical capabilities where you can support us and help us. We would very much appreciate it. If you are somebody who's running a community-based program where you are looking after people, please again visit the website. There are forms where you can apply to become a beneficiary, or you can just email or phone us directly and just have a chat about what the challenge or concern is that you're facing, and we can definitely see how we can address it.
All right, it's just gone. We've got 30 minutes to go till we wrap up the show at 2 p.m. in Central African Time. We take a musical break and return after this.
Call us on +27 63 406 9126
I can see my whole world changing
and contribute to the conversation.
Story gani inaona kwa TV, udem sina mjua, alikuwa jirani yangu Roisambu, 44 nikiwa kampo. Kuna vita kati ya watu wawili, mtu na mpenzi wake, sana ona amelazwa ICU, apigania maisha yake, na wakili wa vita wameingilia, wamezua ngori kali sana. Pia naona paybill number 0877, na vile sina kitu siku ya leo, mitamchangia tu damu. Ni mwanaume gani huyo? Ni mnyama si binadamu. So here we are again by the river. Are we gonna watch her drown, or are we gonna save her? I'm standing next to you, yeah, by the river. Are we gonna watch her drown, or are we gonna save her?
The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochi Tika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10, we take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10, we take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10, we take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some Lucifer knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10, we take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till...
Great Southern African vocalist and a man of the music. He's been doing this, since he was a very young boy. And he's had quite a story to document. You know, Jabu Kanyele he lost his mother when he was very young, and then he had to drop out of school. And in him dropping out of school, he then found song and dance, and I guess this is where he found his solace. This is where he found his grounding in the music, and he's been participating in bands, and of course leading the very popular, and it's a band not just popular in Southern Africa but across the African region, the band Bayete. You may remember that, as famous as Ngoni Ba in Mali, right? Really big band. He ran that project for many years, and then he, of course, ran himself as a solo project, as a solo artist, until he passed away several years back. But he comes through with one of his popular hits here on Channel Africa with Sponky Ponky, the title of the song. Thank you very much for staying with us on Channel Africa as we talk all things agriculture. Of course, we also love to acknowledge the space of eventing when it comes to agriculture, which for me is really, it fulfills a very important part and structure within agriculture, because conversation and dialogue is really how we can move pathways and create pathways, as it were, and break boundaries, as it were, to really be the change that we want to see. So in the year 2025, of course, the year has officially taken off. We are now approaching the middle of the year. In fact, we are in the middle of the year already, if you'll believe it. It's the 1st of June today. So looking at the year 2025 broadly, there are several agriculture summits that are being planned that we can look at, that we can sort of peruse through and see what the conversation is going to be there, whether it's in the space of agri-tech or whether it's in the space of world fresh produce markets, or, all kinds of things are happening when we look at summits, when we look at the space of exhibition as well. So the year 2025 looks at the BRICS Plus Agricultural Investment and Trade Summit. This one is going to be taking place in Durban, in the city of Durban here in South Africa. And the 6th Global Summit on Agriculture and Organic Farming is taking place this month in Paris, in France. And very interesting to have looked at this particular summit. I didn't see much African activity happening there. Maybe that's where you and I need to intervene. There is, of course, a lot of European countries, Middle Eastern countries are going to be there. America in its various places, not just the US, are also participating. But where is the African continent? I'm going to do a bit of digging and investigation for you and let you know what's happening there. So that's going to be happening in Paris. I think very important when we look at matters of global agriculture and organic farming. We also have... what else is happening? We've got the Regenerative Agricultural Summit, EU, and I believe that a date and location is still to be confirmed, but it is upcoming, and it is a summit of importance as it focuses on financing, regulation, and nature within regenerative agricultural spaces, exploring real-world solutions and scaling practices across global supply chains. So this one is incredibly important. Another one, looking at the KZN region here in South Africa, once again, is the 6th Urban Agri World 2025. That one is happening in October between the 22nd and the 24th of October this year. So this is an event that will deliberate on emerging technologies to unlock the potential for agriculture, focusing on future-proofing food security and resilience, particularly in Africa. So these are the summits that I have access to at the moment. Very important to have them diarized. And I think, for matters of engagement or for purposes of engagement, it's very important that we participate. So if you are a global speaker, a contributor, a delegate, and would like to, to kind of go and enhance and contribute to these conversations, I think it's very important that we all do the work at this time to prepare for what is to come. We also spoke about what the third regional summit that's going to be taking place in Mombasa, and that's going to be of significance as well. It's also taking place later on in the year in September. So a lot is happening, a lot of eventing and conferencing and summiting and exhibiting, as it were, is happening on the African continent. So just a couple to look forward to. If you are listening right now and you have access to additional information about some of the important dialogues that are of public and of continental interest, you're most welcome to let me know on our suggestion box on Twitter at Channel Africa 1 with the hashtag planting the seed, so we're able to track the conversation with you.
Africa Update on Channel Africa.
Over 35 organizations are expected to converge at the Union Buildings in Pretoria over illegal immigrants in South Africa. They say South Africa is facing a myriad of challenges and that foreign nationals are worsening the situation. Yes, Khutato, just take us through the main aims of the march, what you're hoping to get from them.
So we are basically saying to the President of the Republic of South Africa, illegal immigration is a pandemic. Implement the laws. It's not that we don't have these laws. How many people are being human trafficked? How many people are being hijacked? Our schools are full. Our hospitals are full. And it's almost as if we're carrying the burdens of the entire Africa at the expense of South Africans. And we are basically saying enough is enough. We want the President of the Republic of South Africa to meet us at the Union Building. We've submitted letters to say that we are coming on this day. We want to meet with him there to give him this mandate because clearly he has failed citizens. He's failed South Africans by failing to implement the law. That's the most important thing. We are going to give you a mandate. We, the people, shall govern.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu on Channel Africa every weekday from 12 to 2 p.m. Hi there. Do you want to elevate your business and give it a voice in South Africa and Africa as a whole? Well, in that case, let Channel Africa make this a possibility. Channel Africa is willing to advertise your business for as little as 30,000 rands or $1,719.18. To get access to these great rates, send all requests to mokoenata@SABC. That's MOKOENATA@SABC. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Welcome to Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito on Channel Africa. Live and Real with Tebogo and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6. We put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joel Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia, 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana, 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones, on air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7 till 8 p.m. Maria Mokumalo comes in 8 till 9. We get some useful knowledge. Kalodiscopia. 9 till 10. We take a look in Africa and beyond. Africa World Hour with Sipiso Makwetla. And we close it up with some love. The Hotlines with Shailen Dikumana. 10 till 12 p.m. on Channel Africa. Across borders, across time zones. On air, online. This is Channel Africa. Africa has a voice, and that voice is Channel Africa. It keeps you in motion, speaking, singing, questioning, rising. Wake up with Rise and Shine 6 till 9. Peter and Asanda as they bring you breaking news, sharp analysis, and the voices that shape the day. At mid-morning, we get on the move with Palisa and Benjamin, digging into the African lifestyle, people, and the things that make Africa smile. 12 till 1, Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, getting in-depth, powerful stories, and the perspective you won't hear anywhere else. The Upside, 1 till 4, live and real, with Tebogo Likweleni and Nompumelelo Ngubeni. Tame Ngubeni talks money, Africa in business, 4 till 5 p.m. 5 till 6, we put on a little bit more color. Vue d'Afrique with Joël Moteba. We go to East and Central Africa and find Darubinia Africa with I Am Shakif. Madapiri gives us some life. Zochitika, 7
Is
till
the
8.
wonderful music of Kajanin, right? And if you don't even have to have been to Burundi to kind of capture just the heart and soul and big heritage that she carries in this music, it always is just so heartwarming. Beautiful music as we wrap up agricultural programming this weekend. Thank you very much for being one with us. We looked at water sciences, looking at an Egyptian water model that is filtering through here in South Africa and being implemented. So many thanks to Lisa Rebello, who is a head scientist with Digital Earth Africa. And we spoke about how this wonderful strategy and model is going to work for Southern Africa, but also in other African regions, like in West Africa as well. And of course, looking at just big themes around world hunger, post World Hunger Day. What are we doing? What is happening? There's work that's been done with Food and Trees for Africa, and of course work that is also being done with SA Harvest. So really big conversations post World Hunger Day, and themes of hunger and food security are always our personal business here on Planting the Seed. So thank you very much for tuning in and for being one with the show. As we wrap up, we make way for the chairman in his chair. NETO coming through with all things sports and lifestyle with Africa at Play just after 2 p.m.
A very good afternoon, MM, and a very good afternoon to all the Channel Africans. As we welcome Youth Month, we will be talking to our teenager in sport, one of the impact players during the recently concluded Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations, who got to excel on the field of play, and we witnessed Amajita triumphing in that Under-20 AFCON, bringing it back home. So we will be talking to Lazola Maku during our Teenager in Sport conversation to talk to us about his journey of the beautiful game of football. And we will also be talking to Munya Marayire, who is the Worldwide WWS Scholarship founder and CEO, which is an organization that supports talent and that takes this talent to various destinations depending on the opportunities out there, getting them scholarships and making certain that the African continent is well represented as we build up to the upcoming Africa Under 18 and Under 20 World African Athletics Championships that will be taking place in South Nigeria in Abeokuta from the 16th to 20th of July. And of course, we'll touch base with our legendary correspondent, the Encyclopedia of Global Athletics, Gershom Sejinyati, and make rounds around the African continent. Africa at Play.
Make sure you catch it. We will be here from 2 going onwards. Thank you, NETO. We will be listening and, of course, streaming online as well if you'd like to watch. Thank you. I saw a gentleman saying he is tuning in from Kenya. We appreciate that you're listening. Please spread the audio stream throughout the African region. Well, this is us. It was wonderful. We'll be back again for, we've kickstarted a brand new month, so there's lots to talk about. Back again with agricultural and supporting fraternities content. Next week, Sunday, between 12 and 2 p.m. Thank you so much to the team. Thank you to Ndando Lutuli on TO, a technical operator. Thank you to Dumisilema on social media. And, of course, the Gentleman's Club holding it down for our streaming space. That's Jabu Myekeni, as well as Mr. Vudivi as well, who's holding it down. It was wonderful to spend the afternoon with you. Catch you again next weekend. Cheers.
Channel Africa, we think differently. The African perspective.